Today, ethicalcommunity.com is meeting with the CEO of Ecover, Mick Bremans, to find out about the impact cleaning products have on the environment and how Ecover have managed their environmental impact.
Ecover has been the leading ecological cleaning company since the 1980s. Their products are available in the major supermarkets, and they're a great example of how huge companies can also have green foundations. Because of their high profile, they've also been subject to many controversial debates, so we were keen to put them in the spotlight.
Ecover chose 30 years ago to start making ecological products, and in the early days this was mainly taking the phosphates out of the regular cleaning products, because phosphates at that time took the public attention because of their negative effects on water, on seas and ponds and rivers and so on, because of the effect of eutrophication. And so we started to actually make products without phosphates. That was the start of it. The Ecover products are different from conventional cleaning products in many aspects. But I think the main criteria or the main differences between us and conventional products is the sourcing of the raw materials, which in our case are almost completely renewable, based on either vegetable ingredients or mineral ingredients, which is a big difference with the conventional products that are generally still based on petrochemical ingredients. But there's also a complete difference in the approach of washing and cleaning, in the sense of what is performance and what is the effect of cleaning products on the environment afterwards. How are they being produced, because we produce them in our ecological factories, and the whole company is run on an environmental management system. So I think if you need to look at the products first, of course, because the products are the essential part of a company's activity, so I think you need to improve on those first. But secondly, you also have to look behind the products and what is behind there. The consumer should be aware of the eco-credentials of the products they buy, because it makes, of course, a hell of a difference whether you use an environmental product or not. I can best document that with one of the criteria we use to develop our products, and which is technically called the critical dilution volume. In layman's language, it's just the amount of water, the volume of water you need to neutralize the negative effect of a cleaning product on the environment. And to give you an example of a washing powder, our washing powder, and I think I can say that is an ecological product, still requires 2,150 to 2,300 liters of water to neutralize the environmental effect of a single dosage. If you then compare that with the criteria of the European Eco-Label, the European Eco-Label sets the maximum on 4,500 liters, and conventional products score 10,000 to 15,000 liters that you require to neutralize the environmental effect of one dosage. So I think if you want to defend your environment and you want to defend your society, I think it is absolutely necessary that consumers look better to what type of products they need. It has a bigger effect than a lot of people actually realize. It's extremely difficult for consumers to make a difference between a really environmental or ecological product and products that actually are using marketing of green criteria or green elements on their products. It's extremely difficult, and I must admit that sometimes I can't say the difference. And certainly if you're standing in front of a shelf, I don't think you can actually really make the difference. So it requires the consumer to look behind what is on the shelf, to look behind what is on the label, and to actually do some research. And I think that's not particularly for cleaning products. I think it goes for all products today on the market, that it requires consumers today to be more conscious. I think we've come out of an era where consumerism was accepted just as that. Everything was available anywhere at any time. And I think we have to go back to a more conscious consumerism that will actually make the consumer think twice about what they do. I can assure you that ecological products can clean as effectively as a conventional product. There are some remarks or some additions to give to that. I think in the general cleaning, in washing up, there is really no difference between a general cleaning product or conventional cleaning product and an ecological cleaning product. And I'm not just talking about our products. I think in general you can say that of more ecological cleaning products. But there are differences on some other products categories, like for instance the washing. If you do washing today, I think a lot of the performance is done and made by additives that actually are not really washing, but are creating a performance aspect that is perhaps not even really there. Take optical brightness. They make white or light linen bright up when it's exposed to sunlight. That, of course, is an additive we don't use because, first of all, they are not biodegradable. Secondly, they are even supposed to have effects on the skin, on human skin. So those are additives that we don't use. Now, of course, if you are a consumer used to working using products that have optical brightness in them, you will see a difference because, of course, our fabrics won't light up. That's the difference. And we can't overcome that. But it doesn't mean that we do not clean or wash as effectively as a conventional product. And I think they should actually put that clearer on the packaging of products so that basically the consumer can see, yes, this is a product that contains additives that actually give an aspect that is perhaps not really there. The Ecover products don't carry the EU Eco label because up till now we disagreed with some of the aspects of the European Eco label. Let me be clear, the European Eco label is a fantastic tool to actually give the consumers some tool to make a difference between what is an environmental product and what is not. On the other hand, I think it's a fantastic tool, but at the same time, I think it's a missed opportunity because it could have gone much further. And I think we have some principal differences with the Eco label today, also some technical differences. Principal differences in the sense that the Eco label is not available for all products in the range. It looks at the product alone, doesn't look behind the product, doesn't look at who's producing it, it doesn't look at how many products in your range have the Eco label. Is that an entire range or is that just one product out of a range of conventional products? So I think there are some principal differences with the European Eco label. From the technical side, I think there are some major issues that we still find that the Eco label is too weak on, and that, for instance, is the fact that phosphates are still allowed in the Eco label products. Imagine that we took them out 30 years ago. So I mean, there has been quite a time lapse, and they can't say that they didn't know that was an issue. Petrochemical ingredients are not banned from those products. So I think there are a number of technical issues. But of course, I do accept, and I'm not against the Eco label as such. It is a work in progress, and it will always progress, and probably it will move to become a better tool and a better logo. And I do not exclude that we might take it up in the future. The reduction of Ecover's environmental impact is a continuous process. It's a number of steps, and I think with our company we have engaged in trying to become a sustainable company. Now, for me, becoming sustainable as a business is a process. So it's not a moment where at some point you can say, well, now we earned the diploma and we can put it on the wall in our offices and say we are a sustainable company. Sustainability means that you have continuous improvement, that you have continuous progress. So I think it's a process that it will never end. It's a running target. But the steps have been, first of all, on the products itself, of course. I mean, I think, again, the most important issue a business should look into is their own products or services, what they do. Then secondly, of course, I think you should do on how you then provide those products or services. And basically, the logic behind it was pretty simple. We actually said, if we want our consumer to make a conscious choice for an ethical product or an ecological product, then I think this consumer expects from us to run our business in the same way. And that was the simple, I would say, exigence to actually move and try to change things in the company. So from the products, you started to look at how do we make the products. Then you started to look at your suppliers. Who are our suppliers? Can we improve on those? Can we join? Can we pull them into our project? Can we do some things together? We looked at how we were managing our company. So we have installed an ISO 14001 environmental management system in both of our sites, both in Belgium and in France. And so gradually you start looking at everything you're doing, continuously try to improve. This doesn't mean that we do not pollute anymore. This doesn't mean that we cannot improve. Yes, we can improve a lot still. But of course, it's a process that needs to be both, and sustainability says it itself, you need to find a balance between economical criteria, social criteria, and ecological criteria. But it needs to be a balance. You cannot go in one direction and say, I'm going to make this ideal, and the rest I'll neglect it a bit. So it's a process. But we actually, I think today, we look at practically everything we do, and sometimes it's hard, when you say to an accounting department, you need now to improve on your environmental performance. They start looking at, okay, how are we going to do this? Can't we use paper anymore? But it is an objective, and it is a challenge that they have to meet, continuous improvement.
We found it really interesting speaking with Mick Bremans today and hearing what Ecover have been up to. To find out more, visit ethicalcommunity.com.